Day, and we are here with Miss Krystal Keith. It's so good to see you. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thanks for having me.
And your album is almost about to come out, December 10th. Time is ticking. How are you? Did you know? Are you just so excited that that's coming so soon?
Yeah, I mean it's something I've waited on my whole life, and having the EP already come out and get some music to fans is was so amazing. But to actually get to hold an album in my hand and know that I worked so hard to get that is going to be pretty incredible.
I have to ask you, how did you come up with the title? Because I love that. Whiskey and Lace. I mean, what a title.
It describes me to a T. A friend of mine called, and it's a stupid girl story, but she bought a shirt that said Whiskey and Lace, and she was like way too excited about it. And me being a songwriter, I was like, that's a song title. So I put it in my phone and sat on it for about 8 months and had the opportunity to write with Rodney Clausen. And I knew his style of writing and went in and was like, this would be a great song to write with him. I knew I wanted it to be rockin' and edgy, and he does that really well. So I brought it to him, and he loved it. And we were with Lynn Hutton, and we wrote it. It ended up being a song about a stripper. So the content of the song doesn't necessarily describe me, but the title itself describes me to a T. I'm really girly with kind of an edgy side.
Doing fantastic. And you wrote that yourself.
I did. I wrote it with Nathan Chapman, and it's one of those songs that when we wrote it, we just knew. I mean, we were jumping up and down and high-fiving, and sent it to my dad and Mark Wright immediately, and we knew it had to be on the album. We hadn't decided if it would be a single or not, but we had to kind of bump another song off the album to make room for it, and we'll use that on a later project. But I'm glad we did, because it became a perfect single for me. It was the fact that I wrote it, and I get to say I wrote my first single, and the fact that it's being so well received is exciting.
Absolutely. And you brought up your dad, so we have to talk about that. You recognize the last name. Toby Keith is your father.
Yes.
What is that like, and to have him so involved? And he actually produced this album.
He did. I couldn't ask for a better mentor as a songwriter, a vocalist. He is an amazing producer. He's done really well for himself. So I couldn't ask for a better mentor, and we worked really well together. He gave me enough creative freedom to say, I want this to go in this direction, or I need that a little bit more up tempo or a little bit more rockin'. And at the same time, he guided me where he knew he needed to. And with it being my first album, I kind of put it in his hands, but made sure it had my flavor and became everything I wanted it to become. So we worked really well together, and I loved getting that experience of having him in the studio as kind of like...
As we are still waiting for the funeral of the legendary country music artist, that is Toby Keith, who passed away just a few days ago at the beginning of this month. Now, we've seen actually in the previous week that we've just concluded, we saw the daughter, that is the 38-year-old named Krystal, sharing several photos of Keith on her Instagram, commemorating, paying tribute, and also celebrate the life, the legacy, his own dad, and of course, her music partner. She said, I'm really very much shattered. As great as he was in his career, he was so much greater than just a dad and a husband, and of course a pap. He was my hero here. That was Krystal actually speaking, about own dad after he passed away. She continued and said that I'm so lucky to have had him. I'm very grateful. He got to walk me down the aisle, and of course meeting my babies, that I have years of memories of him traveling with me around the world as a family. I'm blessed that I got to spend years traveling on the road and singing on stage with him, and I have mountains of video footage and endless tracks of music to watch him on and hear his voice. So that was actually part of the statement which Krystal, the daughter of Toby Keith, releasing immediately after the passing on of her own dad. She said she was really in pain, and it felt really unbelievable, and the pain was so deep, and it feels like she was literally broken, heartbroken, and she felt so hurt after the unexpected passing of his dad. So, Krystal, by the way, she's Keith's second daughter with wife Trisha Lucas, and of course, they adopted Lucas's daughter Sherry from their previous relationship. Toby had two kids. We all know, a son and a daughter. So as we are actually waiting for those funeral details, and of course, the family said the funeral is to be held either 15th or 14th. That will be in the middle of the month, like they said. So we'll be bringing you all those updates here, but all we can say is continue praying for the family, continue sending your messages of sympathies, condolences, and of course, prayers to Toby Keith. Rest in power, the king that is Toby Keith.